Hello everyone. This is our IEW session for this week, and I wanted to make sure to go over it with you guys, or for you, so you understand what you're doing. I hope everyone is doing well, but this is our IEW that is lesson 27, the literary criticism, successful expedition. And what you're asked to do is to read your assignment, and that is on page 151 of your papers. And then based on that, you are supposed to create an outline, a keyword outline, on page 154. Do not create the keyword outline on page 153. That's for the younger students. You guys are level B. So I will go over it with you, or for you, so you understand what to do. Okay. So you will have 5 paragraphs again when you are finished with this paper. The first paragraph will be an introduction paragraph. This is something we're very much used to. What you are going to be writing is everything we have done really so far, so nothing super new should surprise you on this one. And the introduction paragraph will, in the first sentence, continue the title, author, maybe a publisher, maybe a date, and then let's just go over that. So in my first one, I wrote the name of the story, which is, just a minute, A Successful Expedition. So I have A Successful Expedition. Notice that it's in quotation marks. Normally you would write it in italics, but for short articles or stories like that, you just write it in capitalized and with quotation marks. And then it's written, and then I wrote the name of the author, Laurie Verstegen. And really the sentence would be something like, A Successful Expedition is a short story written by Laurie Verstegen. That would be my first sentence. Then I would move on to the second sentence where it says, it is a historical fiction story written for IEW class in 2001. And I got that information from the bottom of the page. Then in the third sentence, it basically asks you to say the overall background and setting. And so the overall story is about L&C, that is Lewis and Clark, that's my symbol here, expedition, adventure, and danger. So I would say something about, the story tells us about the expedition of Lewis and Clark and the adventures and dangers they encountered. And the fourth sentence, it says here, we should give an overall impression that it had on us. And for me, again, it was suspense, adventure, and surprise. So I would just sum it up basically saying that the story is full of these 3 things for me. Then I would move on to the second paragraph, which would be your first body paragraph. And really, this is where it's very similar to the summaries we write in literature, where they basically ask us to first write the setting, the characters, then the problem, and then the resolution. So let's go over that. The first sentence, and don't forget, from here on you have topic, clincher, sentence. This one doesn't have to have that because you will have the overall clincher, but this one has a topic clincher. So my topic sentence would say something like L&C, Lewis and Clark, and Sacagawea, because those were the 3 main characters, and I would introduce them. You know, I would literally even could say the 3 main characters of the story are Lewis and Clark and Sacagawea, who was their Indian helper. And then you're supposed to describe them, which again, LC, brave explorers, Sacagawea, helper. You can also say something about her being kidnapped. In the second sentence, or third sentence rather, my words are explore, West, and Mississippi, which tells you what motivates them, they ask you. And so really what motivates Lewis and Clark is to explore the United States territory all the way to the west alongside Mississippi. So I would say something like that in that sentence. What is their problem, or what is their weakness or strength? In the third sentence is Lewis and Clark, it's just Lewis, doesn't really speak Shoshone. And so I would mention something like that. And another problem there is that the Indians generally distrust Lewis and Clark. And my clincher would repeat that Lewis and Clark and Sacagawea were the main characters of the story, and I would mention something like, you know, maybe something about them being brave explorers. Then in the third paragraph, which is the conflict paragraph, again, you will have a topic clincher, and it asks us, and by the way, you guys, I'm going off on page 154, so have that in front of you and read the questions that are here on the side along as I'm going over this. But in the second paragraph of the body, or third paragraph overall, it is what the problem generally is, or what the need they have or want. So my topic sentence would say something like class, my goodness. Lewis and Clark, I switched it here, so I switched my brain. Lewis and Clark need horses because they need to continue their expedition, and without the horses, they will not be able to do it. And in the first sentence, so that's my topic, in the first sentence after that, I would say that Sacagawea, money, meaning purchase, Shoshones. So she suggested that they would purchase the horses from the Shoshones. And then in the next sentence, I would say that Lewis caused the confusion because he said the word Tabbabone, which he thought meant white man, when he was walking into the Shoshone village, but it actually meant enemy. And then Lewis was puzzled. This is still L for Lewis. Was puzzled and distraught. And distraught, by the way, notice, is my vocab word. So I on purpose already put it there so I don't have to think about it. You guys are supposed to use at least 3 vocab words: amiable, antagonist, distraught, and awestruck. So here I use the distraught. And then in the next sentence, I would say something like, because they ask you, what do the characters feel before the climax? So I'm not giving the solution yet, but I'm saying that he still, even though he was puzzled and confused and distraught, he felt resolved not to give up and still get the horses. So he went into the village anyway. And then in my clincher sentence, I would say something like he would get the horses. See, so that's my reflection. Lewis and Clark would get the horses no matter what. So that's a part 1. I will go over part 2 in the next video.